Now, your first year, how much real estate did you sell?
$33 million.
$33 million. What year is that?
That was '04.
Wow.
Yeah,
2004, your first year in real estate, you sell 33
Yeah, 04, 05, right over, yeah.
How is that possible?
I did exactly what I told you. I literally went to open houses. I sat this woman's open houses. She was my mentor. She did not want to sit hers. So I sat all of them, and I literally was like, if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna pick up 2 clients every single open house, and I did.
So the big question is this: how do most agents who don't have access to the secrets that the top agents in our industry hoard to themselves grow and prosper in today's real estate environment? That's the question. And this video podcast is the answer. I'm Pat Hyben, and welcome to Real Estate Rockstars.
Welcome, Real Estate Rockstars. I am fired up for this interview today. A long time coming, and I'm talking to Tami Pardee today. Tami is the #1 real estate team in Los Angeles and #2 in the state of California, and probably about top 5 in the United States.
6 actually,
Top
but I'm,
top
you know,
six.
there's
Top
room,
6,
there's
but who's
room
counting?
to go. There's
Yes.
room to go. I love that. Yeah.
Yes, and Tami, you've done more than $4 billion in sales. I'd love to know, just tell us really from the start, how did you get into real estate, and give us a little bit of the background.
Well, since our daughters are actually friends, I'll tell you, I call her my golden child. I was actually, I just had her, and she was a super colicky baby, and I had miscalculated how much it was going to cost to live. And so all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I should go back and get my real estate license. My parents were both builders and designers, so I grew up in real estate. And I had my license in Oregon, where I'm from. But I just decided, I was like, maybe I'll just go back and try this and sell a few houses a year. And that's how it started.
Wow.
And then I sold everybody in the baby group a house, literally. Wow. Like 4 out of the 10.
So you're a natural born salesperson?
Or she
right?
is. She
right.
was, yes, exactly.
It was the motivation, for sure.
Yes.
So give me an idea in terms of, there's an area in Venice, California, in Los Angeles called Venice, which is the sort of cool, hip area. And Tami, among other areas, owns that one completely. So you, how many deals did you do last year?
We did about 300 deals last year.
Okay. And in terms of total volume?
$550 million.
Wow. Okay, $550 million in volume. And obviously you're not doing this by yourself.
No, I definitely have a team.
Okay, right.
For sure.
So what does your team look like?
They're amazing. They're very cute.
Yes. Yes, they are.
No, I have 3 listing agent teams, me being one of them. And then I have about 20 buyers agents. And then we have a marketing department, a sign department, an operations department.
Wow.
So it's really run like a company. It's a team and it's a company at the same time.
Yes.
So we are all in-house. We have 2 handymen on our staff. We have a cleaning person on our staff. So we're all encompassing, so we can really, really focus on our client quickly and efficiently. And it's all in-house instead of, trying to get independent contractors to work with us.
Okay. So you have, you take listings, and you have 2 listing specialists. Is that what it is?
They're listing agents too,
Listing
and they have
agents.
teams around them as well.
Okay.
So yeah, so my team is a 4-person team, and then I've got the other one is a 3-person, and the other one's a 2-person, and they all specialize in different areas and different things. So we're all very, we what we try to do is, because our relationships are based on connection, we try to fit the right people together so that they'll connect better. So.
Okay. Tell me what sort of the breakdown is between buyers and sellers.
It's about 50-50.
Okay.
Last year we had like a little bit more on the buy side, which was surprising to me. Than the list side, it was the 60-40. But normally it's literally always about 50-50 within a couple points.
Got it. And I'm sure you work your sphere of influence.
Yeah.
And one of the things that people really want to know is, other than sphere of influence, how are you getting listings?
I mean, So I work my sphere, and I always have. It's really a lot of repeat. I mean, here's the thing: is if you do a good job for somebody, and you connect with them, and they like and they appreciate what you've done, and you get them the highest price, and it's a smooth transaction, they'll tell their friends, because everybody wants to talk about that. So it's really a lot of. I mean, 57% of our business is from past clients and referrals.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a big percentage.
Yeah, that's good.
The average agent, I think, is like 11%.
Right.
So yeah.
There's a National Association of Realtor statistic that I always refer to, and that is that at the end of a transaction, nationwide, they ask a bunch of questions in a survey, but bottom line is, would you use the same realtor again? And 84% said yes. And then in the lifespan between the time they conclude that transaction till they do another transaction, 12% actually use the same realtor. So what are you doing to
So that's actually really important. So one of the things that we do is it's all about connection, and it's keeping connected. So we have an ISA that keeps connected.
Okay.
But through the year, we also touch our clients all the time. So we have, I mean, as the listing agent, we have all the lists, and we'll go through and say hello. We have, my last name's Pardee, so we have a big Pray for Snow party. We invite like 1,000 people to it.
Wow.
Actually, I think we invite everybody on our list, and about 1,000 people come.
Okay.
Which is good, because if I don't, it's at my house, so
Wow.
it's
Okay,
kind of
okay.
a wild one. It's called it's a Pray for Snow. There's nothing religious about it. It's actually a ski party. But having that connection and having people in your home is really important.
Oh, interesting.
I'll do some political fundraisers, like last year I did Gavin Newsom, and I invited everyone to come to that to meet him. So I'm not very political, but I like to keep people up to date on what's happening and all of that. So the personal connection is really important. And then I really want all my agents out there with my clients as well. So just talking to them, and Facebook, Instagram, tagging them, saying hi. We Google search everyone. Like if something comes up in the press, we just want to make sure that they know that all roads really lead to Pardee real estate.
One of the things that a lot of teams struggle with is you've got these great systems and you're doing a great job and you're training people as you go, okay, but you're maintaining your core. What do you do, if anything, to keep them from, okay, well, I've trained this person and now they're going to go on their own and they're going to try and do their own business, they're going to try and compete with me. Obviously, you have done something to create this giant thing that goes on and on.
Right. I've had that issue. I mean, I've definitely had that issue. And it's hard, because I've had some of my best friends that work for me, and they're like, oh, well, I can do this better. And they take my business and go. So I did create a contract that people need to sign. And it's really saying that this is how this is going to go. And I'm very clear, which I used to not be, because I didn't really have a voice on it. But I've been working on it my whole life, is having my voice and just saying, this is the expectation. This is what I'm going to sign. This is what you're going to receive from me. This is what you're going to sign. And if this isn't okay with you, then this isn't your place.
Right.
So I think it's important. I think people try to chase around people that aren't their people. And I think that there's a lot of really setting the expectation from the very beginning of the relationship. I mean, this is any relationship.
Sure.
But we never want to say it. What are my requirements? So I lay out my requirements for them, and I want to know their requirements for me.
Yes.
And then at that point, it's are we going to do this? Because it's, in a way, it's like a little bit of it's a relationship in a marriage.
Sure.
And so you need to make sure that everyone's clear on that.
And this is such a key point, because so many people want to do real estate on a team. They're like, hey, I'm doing it on my own. There's so much to do. I'll partner up with somebody.
Right.
One of the things that I always talk to our realtors about is, before you get into a team relationship, even if it's, hey, we're going to sell together, number one, put it in writing.
Right.
And number two, what's the exit strategy? Because people always think, you're not getting into this for it not to work. So you've got the whole how it's going to work plan. But as we know, relationships don't always work. So what's the exit strategy to it, right?
And that's what we do. And we put it in super clearly. They can go ahead and take my clients.
Okay.
That's fine, but they're going to pay me 50% for 7 years.
Wow. Okay.
And to be honest with you, the brand is the people that I have now. And I also, one of the things I did last year when I came back, I was like, are these, I had to reevaluate. We let a lot of people go last year because of that. Because I'm I just wanted a clean slate. I wanted to optimize my business. And I was always scared to let people go and, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And all of a sudden I'm like, I just want to walk in my office and feel really good about everyone here.
Yep.
And them to feel really good about me walking in.
Yep.
Because if I walk in and don't feel good, it's going to set everybody in a different way. So I basically decided that that's what I was going to do. And it was a little scary, to be honest, because I usually do about 650 million and I did 550 last year.
Wow. Okay.
Now
that's a big step. That's a big step backwards.
Yeah. And I was willing and able to do that because
Yeah.
what I wanted to do is make sure that if I don't feel good, it would have crashed. So, and now it's interesting because we've had the strongest month in January we've ever had with me back. And with all of us happy. And I'm like, okay, good. So last year was, sometimes you have to step back, evaluate what's actually happening. Because you get so frenetic, you get like, oh good, we're growing. But are we growing smartly? And are these is this my tribe or is this not my tribe?
Yes.
And if it's not, then you gotta really focus on that too.
So the energy around the people that you work with and the team that you have. So I mean, we all make the same mistake, I think, is I'll look at somebody and go like, wow, they have so much energy and power in this area, but they're not really a cultural fit for me maybe, but I look at the upside, what this person will bring. And sometimes get into the wrong business relationship for that reason. Right. But you're looking at the...
I used to look at it that way as opportunity, but now I look for connection and relationship. Because the thing is, I have opportunity.
Right.
I'm giving them the opportunity. That's the whole point.
Right. Right.
I'm like, I have more leads and more... I don't even know what to do with them all.
Right.
So what I really want is someone great that's great with my clients and isn't an opportunist because they're doing the right thing for my clients. Because sometimes, like what I found is those people were trying to turn and burn and do all these things, and I'm like, oh, that's not how I do business. I want to do what's right for the client, not what's right for that person.
Now, do you ever get the when you lay things out very clearly? So everyone's going to say like, oh yeah, of course. Do we keep things cloudy or do we make them clear? Oh yeah, let's make them clear. Right. Okay. But then when you lay them out clearly, one of the things that I experience is, oh well, it's either Paul's way or the highway. Do people say like, oh well, if it's not Tami's way? Do you get that?
Here's the thing. I have my requirements. Like and those I don't bend on, but I bend on a lot of other things. Like I go to my team, I'm like, okay, who has an idea about this or this or this? So I actually appreciate it. And they're, most of my team's a lot younger than I am, and they're bringing in tech ideas and things that I'm like, oh my God, that's great. And I really honor and I really appreciate them coming in that direction and saying, oh, this and this and this. And so I'm open to that, but I'm very clear on what I will not bend on. And they're very clear what I will not bend on.
And what won't you bend on?
Transparency, the contract. I want my biggest thing I would say is transparency. Like I need you guys, everyone to be fully like transparent on what's happening. And if you make a mistake, tell me. Do not cover it up. Just tell me because I can deal with anything, but the unknown, it's like actually something from my childhood actually scares me.
Right.
So it doesn't work for me. So I know that is a weakness of mine. If I don't know something and people are hiding something from me, it's the worst for me.
Right.
So just tell me. I'm like, and I'm a really good strategist. I will figure out how to fix it or repair it. Or sometimes I'll just say that we really messed up and I'll say to my clients, I'm like, you know what, we made a big mistake and we're going to help. This is what we're going to do to fix it. And my clients appreciate that because it's not like I'm hiding. So it goes throughout the company. Is my requirements go throughout the company too. So.
Okay, so one of the things that you said was you have more leads than you know what to do with. That is not a problem that most realtors have. How do you get to that point? What are your lead sources? How are you getting all these leads?
I think it's one of the things like when I started. Every single time I went out in the world, I was like, I'm gonna meet somebody and I'm gonna connect with them and I'm gonna talk. And I'm not like what are you doing with your house? But it's like connect with them on a level of like, who are you? How do you build your own house? What's your foundation as a person? Your walls, like how do I get in your door? And once I was doing that, literally, and then people knew I was selling, it was like a natural fit. And I also know, I know how to build a house too, like physically build a house. So I'm very educated on what I do and when I'm talking to people on homes. And then I just started getting a lot of referrals and then, open house leads and honestly Zillow leads have been helpful. Just literally all like having our Abbott Kinney office. People forget, if you're on a busy, really busy, beautiful street like Abbott Kinney, we have a lot of walk-ins. Like a ton of people walk in that office. We're an international marketplace there on Abbott Kinney. I mean, we get them all the time, people in. So we have so many leads. That's, really managing those and making sure that people are getting touched and with the appropriate, getting the appropriate attention is probably the most important thing to me. And the thing that we're working on that we're lacking the most because there's so many. So.
And one of the things that I hear in that our audience can definitely use is that real estate is still a contact business, right? So when you say, not many people can afford a physical office space to stick on Abbott Kinney, okay? But you got there somehow. And one of the ways that you got there was that physical contact.
Right.
Was being out there and talking about real estate. Is that right? Were you
Yeah, I mean,
networking?
I started my business on open houses. So, and people are like, oh, open houses. I'm like, they 100% work and where I am for sure, because I would go in and I'm a very big intention and manifester. So I would like set my intentions and it'd be like, okay, if I'm going to sit here for 3 hours, I'm meeting 2 people that I will buy or sell a home with. Like, that's it. Like, I'm not going to sit here for another reason.
Right.
And it's funny, I did. And so
cool.
that just started, and then I would work those people and I'd have coffee with those people and I'd look at that person's shirt that walked in and if it said Black Butte, I'd be like, oh my God, Black Butte, I was there. Oh my gosh. And like, what do you, so, and that's like shooting fish in a barrel, because people that are coming to open houses are either buying or selling, looking for a friend that's buying or selling. We're super interested in houses and are kind of like the neighborhood guru on houses.
Right.
So you should be like really, really connecting with them.
Right. So there's not a person that comes through your open house that you shouldn't, for one reason or another, connect with.
My thing is, even on a human level, we all need to be connecting more. So I connect with homeless people when I'm walking down the street, because not saying hi to someone where I'm from is not an option. Like, you say hi to people and you're kind to people and you talk to everyone, and because that's like really human nature. What
an interesting, I mean, some of it seems very basic, and yet, do we actually go to the open house, with that intention? And manifesting it, we talked a lot before about energy and that sort of thing. And I don't think it has to be it can be, but it doesn't have to be as mystical, right, as it might sound. If you go to an open house and you're like, well, my intention is X, Y, and Z, you're just going to naturally behave in a way that's consistent with that.
Right, you're setting the intention. So like, I'll even write myself I'm big on writing myself letters to myself.
Wow, okay. This is good.
And I'll do it from like, I call it my 100-year-old goddess. And I'm like, okay, well, how did I live my life? Or how did I live this year of my life? And I'll literally write myself a letter of exactly what happened in that year. And then it will come true, because I'm setting the intention for it. Like, I'll sell so much, and then I'll go on this trip to so and such, and I'll meet, I mean, to the point where like, I can meet people and do all these things, and then I go back and I look at them like, oh my God, it came true. It's you really, what you ask for and you put out there in writing. I think it's important to write it down and and write it to yourself, like, and write it like kindly to yourself. Be kind to your own self.
Yes, that's a huge one for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do the math. It's worth every single dollar. That's a title of a comment that I got on my certified listing agent course from Rebus University. It's from Bill Reeg. This is what Bill says. Bill says, looking to take your listing presentation to the next level? I've closed 100 appointments since I took Pat's certified listing agent course. 5 appointments, 5 new clients, 60 days. Boom, do the math. It's worth every single dollar. Thanks, Bill. But listen, guys, I am offering this to you if you haven't already taken it, because so many brokers and teams make their agents take it before they do a single listing appointment. But if you haven't taken it, you can go to rebusuniversity.com and get it now. Now, here's the thing. For 30 days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you that course. I'm going to give you the buyer agent course, which teaches you how to close every single serious buyer that calls on the phone or emails. This certified team agent course is taught by Jeff Cohn, one of America's top agents on how to build a team from zero to hero to hundreds and hundreds of units every year, step by step. It's like a 12-hour course plus 7 other courses. Yes, you heard that right. All for a measly $127 a month. If you were to go to Rebus University and buy these courses individually, it costs you over $10,000. But today, if you go to futureofrealestatetraining.com, that's futureofrealestatetraining.com, you'll learn what Bill Reed did, which is how to close 100% of the listing appointments you go on. Quite impressive. And you'll learn all the other incredible details provided in the 11 5-star courses that are offered. Yeah, it's like all you can eat bazaar. You go in now and you pay $127 a month. If you can eat all 11 courses in 1 month, that's all you pay is $197. This is a bargain, guys. Get it now. Futureofrealestatetraining.com. Hey, Real Estate Rockstars, this is Pat Hyben, and before we jump back into today's content, I want to tell you about an extraordinary offer from an extraordinary company. I'm talking about My Outdesk. If you haven't heard of My Outdesk, basically they're a virtual assistant company, a VA company that specializes in virtual assistants for real estate agents. Yeah, I'm talking about transaction coordinators, marketing assistants. I'm talking about ISAs, inside sales agents that prospect thousands and thousands of seller leads and buyer lead follow-ups. I mean, these guys are trained in this stuff specifically. You're not using a company that doesn't know or understand real estate sales. 4 out of 5 of the top teams in the U.S. use My Outdesk for their virtual assistants. And because I know the owner, Daniel Ramsey, I've known him for over a decade, and I know how awesome and incredible this company is and how it saves agents thousands and thousands of dollars every single week and makes them thousands and thousands of more every single week. We're going to give you a $400 coupon off of your first month of a virtual assistant and to give you a free book entitled Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. So you can read it and look into it before you decide anything. It's called Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. And you can get it real easy. All you got to do is text the word Hyben, H-I-B-A-N, to 31996. That's H-I-B-A-N to 31996 and download your free book, Scaling Your Business with Virtual Professionals. And don't forget to mention also that you get a $400 discount, which will give you a coupon for that when you download the book. Thank you, guys, and I hope you enjoy and make a ton of money using My Outdesk.
Are you doing affirmations? Are you doing how are you affecting this?
No, I look at them. I do a vision board. I do that every year, and I set my intention on that, and I write them out on this, I'll just write things that I want, and then I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh, that's what I want today. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. I have all these little sayings.
Yes.
So that come to me.
We want to hear some of the sayings,
okay,
for sure.
Do you want me to tell you now?
Sure. Tell me some of the sayings. Absolutely.
Well, my mom, I grew up with them, so I grew up with watch out for the chocolate-covered spider and all these things. But
wow. Okay.
But my mom, that was my mom.
Where did you grow up?
Oregon.
Okay.
I grew up from Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And but I have things that come to me at night. I'll literally go to sleep and I'm like, oh, and then so I have this term called gal. So it's I say it to everyone. I'm like, you have to gal, and this is throughout my company. You have to gal everyone. So everyone you meet with gratitude, acceptance, acknowledgement, and love in every conversation. So if you're with a client or a friend or a lover or your kids, if they call and they're mad at you or whatever, client's upset.
Yes.
Gratitude. Thank you for calling me. Oh my gosh, I can see you're upset. What can I do for you?
Right. That's
let's talk about acknowledgement and then love them. I really appreciate your business and I don't want you to be upset. So let me work on this for you. Let me get you an option by 5 p.m. today, or some things by 5 p.m. today. So I do it, I actually give myself a challenge doing it. I like to do it at hotels. So, because the person that you go check in with, they're always miserable, or there's a long line. And I went to Vegas the other day. It was so funny. And I got the cheapest room at Caesars. It was $79.
Wow. Okay.
But there was like this 2-hour line to get in. And I'm like, I was going to have a glass of champagne before I went in that line. So I did. But I went up to the front desk and I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, thank you so much for doing this for me. I'm really in the cheap seats here. But wow, you really worked hard today. And like, I saw you, how are you doing? And he started laughing and we were talking and he's like, and I said, I'm only here for one night. I said, I just got the cheap room. I said, but I used to come and stay at really the nice rooms when I was here. And it was so fabulous. He was like, I'm going to put you in a night. And he put me in a 2,000 square foot suite.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my God. So I ended up in this like gorgeous suite by just being acknowledging him and being grateful and kind and loving. So it's cool.
And a lot of times you don't get that, right? But you're still, that's
a lot
a
of
practice,
times,
right?
it's shocking. If you saw what actually happened in my life, it happens all the time.
It happens all the
like
time.
the other day, I just got like upgraded to first class. The same thing. I was just like, oh my gosh, are my kids? And like, and they're like, okay, like it's because people aren't connecting in kind. Like,
right.
If you just stop and breathe,
Yes.
and give them a moment, then they'll take that moment and they get grounded and settled, and that makes them feel better.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Good.
So gal,
yeah. And then I have another thing in my company, and we call it the conductor and the caboose. So I'm always into closing the loop. So clients don't like anything open-ended because it makes them then their brain goes crazy and then they will yell and scream. So I always call it closing the loop with the conductor and the caboose. So you are the conductor, you are going to take them on the ride. You're going to close the loop every time, and you're always going to be the caboose. So any text I get at the end, I'm like, thumbs up or love. I mean, even if the conversation is closed,
yes,
I want to be the last person talking.
All right.
And not talking, just saying, you bet, you got it.
Yep.
And
that's a good, we all have our own strengths and weaknesses. That's a great takeaway for me because, I have so many unanswered text messages, and what happens is it's not an intention at all to ignore somebody or whatever, but I look at it and if you sent me a message, it was like, hey, I'll be there at, running a couple minutes late, I'll see you at 11:06. My brain.
Did you get it?
No, yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. My assistant told me that's how I do that. So that's a real life example.
Thank
you. But in my brain, I just go like, oh, okay, Tami, no problem. I need the extra 6 minutes. It's all good. Thumbs up. But I didn't do the thumbs up, right? And so just going in and doing that. And there's a funny saying. Mark Twain said Mark Twain said, I have had thousands of conversations, and some of them have been with other people. Right? And so I think we all do that to an extent, but closing that loop is that conversational, closing that conversational gap. And then the people feel like they're taken care of.
Right. And I do that because I need that actually. With my team, I'm like, you have to close the loop. So it's so funny because whatever I feel like I need, I also want my clients to have too.
Right.
And everybody to have.
Right.
Because then I was like, if I feel this way and the loop isn't closed, then how do they feel?
Right.
So I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing for myself, I'm also that's why the transparency thing and all of those. So it's really important.
Got it.
Tribeofmillionaires.com. Guys, write that down. Rockstar Nation got a free special offer for you. Now, I've just written a book, and it's just been published. Co-authored it with David Osborne, who's been on this show multiple times. If you don't know David, he is one of the top execs at Keller Williams Real Estate, was personally mentored for the last 2 decades by Gary Keller himself, and he's in all kinds of businesses. His bio and explanation and everything is in this book. But anyways, David and I got together. We decided to write a book. We called it Tribe of Millionaires. And I guarantee you it's going to change your life. To find out more, just go to tribeofmillionaires.com. We're going to give it to you absolutely free. Only thing we ask in return is, of course, number one, you pay the shipping. Not a big deal. But number two, that you go on Amazon and write us a review. We're really looking to get an incredible amount of reviews, and because of that, we're giving this book away for free. Go to tribeofmillionaires.com today. Rockstar Nation, thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to stay to the end, where our guests will be offering a free gift As you know, all of our guests offer a free gift, and all of these gifts can be found on the Agent Success Toolbox. You could find that by going to hibandigital.com/toolbox or simply texting the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox to 444-999. I am going to put today's free gift in today's show notes, but if you want all of them, including gifts from most of our guests that have come on the show, just go to the Agent Success Toolbox.
If you had advice to give to a brand new agent that's going into an area and they don't have any business, they've got lots of great qualities, they have great intentions, they're going to do great things, but they've just started in the business, what's your advice to them?
If they're going to work on it, if they want to work on a team, they should go work on a team. But as just advice to a new agent, I would have to say know every single thing and then know the stats of every single thing in your area, like home, all the stats.
Okay.
Also importantly is know the community.
Okay.
Know where to get the best french fries. Know where, is there a vegan restaurant? Is there a great yoga spot? Know all of that.
I'm taking notes on this, yep.
Biggest thing, right?
No, yeah,
Are you
good.
Going to be a new agent in an area?
Yeah, that's right. There's some tough areas, but yeah, go ahead.
Also, like one of the things is really getting out of your own way.
Okay.
I think that there's a lot of agents that are like, oh, I'm this and I'm that and I'm so great, and it's like you're not even listening. They don't even listen to their clients. They literally bulldoze the situation. You're like, that's not what your clients wanted.
Right.
So don't get in your own way is one of the biggest mistakes I see agents, all agents, not just new. I'm like, and sometimes I'll say it, I'm like, let's just both get out of our own way. The clients want this property. Let's make that happen for them.
Right.
It's not about you and I.
Right.
It's about them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think also maybe what you're touching on there is, what we refer to in the business as a needs analysis. And that is really, instead of going in and saying, hey, I'm Tami and here are all the great things I can do, asking them what they need.
Right.
Is that, what is your...
Well, I don't ask them what they need. I'm more of a curious person. So I like to be curious with people. Because I'm curious on how you live your life. Because for me, it's not like what you need as a home. It's like, who are you?
Okay.
Who are you? Who are you? What makes you tick?
Okay.
So I
You're connecting at a personal level.
Yeah, because I don't like the word need.
Okay.
Because if I needed you.
Right.
Or I was curious about you.
There's a big difference in energy.
Right.
For sure.
Right. So,
one's heavy and one's not.
Yeah, and needing is to me actually is very. I wouldn't want to work with someone that needed me. I wouldn't want to be with a person that needed me. I want to be someone that's curious and that's my partner and that's having fun and we're doing this together.
Right.
So that's very different from me and for my team. So I'm just curious about what makes you tick,
Okay, so one thing for sure is you're crushing a listing appointment.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't say crushing. I'm connecting.
Okay.
But
I love it. Okay, this is good. Keep
I'm gonna
keep course adjusting me. I like it because we're learning what I'm bringing to the table and sticking on Tami. Right, Tami is not accepting. I like it. She's like, no, I'm not taking that. Here's what I'm doing. Okay, so you are definitely doing listing presentations for great listings, and there are great realtors that are also doing listing presentations in the area, and you're going to get that listing.
Yes, I am.
And how do you get the listing?
I just connect. I just, every listing is different. I don't go in and script myself out. I mean, I have a listing kit and I have all of that. Sometimes I don't even go through it. I'm like, what's going on? Sometimes they're going through a divorce or somebody just passed away or they want to go into a bigger house. And so I want to talk to them about who they are, be curious about them. I always have a plan. I mean, I do know what I'm talking about when I'm doing it, and you have to know that. And I'm very confident in who I am and what I can do for people, and I think that shows. And also in a kind way. I'm not pushy. I'm not like sign this. I'm not one of those people. I'll never be that person because that's actually not who I am.
It's amazing to hear, given how much real estate you sell. I mean, really,
Yeah.
and a testament to you for sure. what do you do with a client that says, you know, there's a great realtor in the area, he sells a lot of houses, and he's going to take the listing at, you know, a discounted rate. What do you do in those scenarios?
With the discount broker?
Yeah.
I say that, I mean, if they can't negotiate their own commission, how are they ever going to get you the highest price? I'm here to get you the highest price. Because usually people, it's an emotional attachment to their home,
right,
but they're doing it for financial reasons.
So let me ask you again. One of the things that I definitely want to go through with you is you went from not selling real estate, obviously,
Right.
to, you know, having this amazing team.
Yeah.
And the question, you know, really is, I really want to get a little bit more on how you went from, you know, from 0 to 650 million.
Right.
In 1 year, which you did a couple years ago, right?
Right.
Now, your first year, how much real estate did you sell?
$33 million.
$33 million.
Right.
What year is that?
That was 04.
Wow.
Yeah,
2004, your
Yeah.
first year in real estate, you sell $33
Yeah,
million.
04, 05, right over, yeah.
How is that possible?
I did exactly what I told you. I literally went to open houses. I was like, I sat this woman's open houses. She was my mentor. She did not want to sit hers. So I sat all of them, and I literally was like, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to pick up 2 clients every single open house, and I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned, so your GCI, or you didn't have many expenses, so your GCI, your take home, very similar, was how much in your first year?
It was about 675, 700. It was just me.
Wow.
And I worked at Remax, so.
Wow. So it was very low expense
Yep.
model, and did, you know, 700,000.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was good.
Again, new in the business, so your number one piece of advice is get open houses.
Yeah, just get open houses and also connect with people. I mean, my biggest client my first year, I met her in line at the airport, like in the
Wow.
security line. I connected with her on our kids' shoes. She said she lived in Brentwood. I was like, oh my God, I was in Brentwood. I saw this beautiful house up there. And she's like, I'm looking to buy. And that was it.
Okay, now you, somebody in Brentwood that, now you're smart and you know what you're doing. I get that. And you know, being smart and hardworking, and a connector is going to come out no matter what.
Yeah.
But you're in your first year of real estate.
Right.
So someone in Brentwood has money,
Right.
and there are a lot of people that sell real estate in Brentwood.
Right.
So how do you convince a client to, you know, do a $2 million purchase out of the gate with you? You have 3 months experience or 9 months or whatever it was.
Well, I didn't go in saying I'm a brand new agent. I have no
Okay.
experience. That was
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
Because the truth is, I had been flipping houses. My parents were in the business for years, and I was I knew my stuff around real estate. I had been in the business of homes for a really long time.
Okay.
So I never said, oh my God, I'm green. And I think that that's the thing is like
Yes.
you throwing out there, like I'm green, I don't know what I'm doing, is going to make
Yes.
them think, you know, you don't know what you're doing.
And you can't deliver for them what they want.
Right. Right.
And really what they want is, you know, a great house at a great price or whatever. And whether you're new or not, you could deliver that to that client.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. Yeah. Yeah. You have to be steadfast. You have to be calm, steadfast, and strategic, and know what you're doing. You know, and people can feel it. If you're nervous and you're throwing out that you don't know what you're doing, I wouldn't want to work with someone that doesn't know what
Right.
they're doing. It's like
Right.
going into a doctor where
Right.
they're like scared. It's like, oh God. I don't
Right.
want to be sitting here.
Right. Or the you know, the
Yeah.
flight attendant, right? When the flight attendant's freaked out, we're really
Yeah,
scared.
we're really scared at
Right.
that point.
Right,
That's
right,
when you
right.
want to get off the plane, you just can't.
Right. Right. And there was definitely a point in time during our conversation today where I had this feeling like, you know what? I would absolutely have Tami list my house. There's no question. I just felt that sort of connection for sure, but also a professionalism and
Thank you.
steadfast
Thank
for
you,
sure.
yeah.
Know your community was one, but also know the houses in the area, right? Oh, all the statistics you said.
Right.
So break that out for
Yeah.
me.
So I like to know my numbers. So like when I go into somebody, and if it's a listing site, I know exactly like there's 89 properties on the market. There's 5 in escrow. There's 2 houses that have sold over $4 million in the last 6 months. I've sold 2 of those. And then I just start telling them, and I remember it. I don't go in and read something on it. And I'm like, let's talk about it, because that's to me the conversation.
Okay.
I also, in today's day, I do a lot of research on the person.
Okay.
Because
That's
I want to know what I'm walking into,
Right.
and you can usually look at Instagram and Facebook and Google and really
Yes.
find out a lot
Yep.
about the
Yep.
person. So do your research. I think research is important.
And I think really 10 minutes of research, right?
Right.
10 minutes of research, you're going to go into that appointment with that person and know more about them than almost anybody else.
You don't
right?
want to be like, in 2004, I saw you took a Cabo trip. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just kind of weird.
Right,
so
right,
you
right,
don't
right,
need
right,
to know
right.
that much,
Right.
but just get the vibe of them, get
Right.
their energy, and know, just kind of know. And usually, I find I know somebody they know.
Yes.
This is a pretty 6 degrees. I feel like with me, it's more like 2. So usually that's a connection, which is so great, which is great. So
I love it. Okay.
you and I knew each other through 3 different connections.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean, for
Yeah.
sure. So
And I was surprised that we hadn't connected
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
To the point where when you said nice to meet you, I was like, "Real? Are
we
you
know each other?"
sure?" Yeah, right. I think again, really, really great advice in terms of the statistics, right, about a particular area. So picking a farm, do you have advice for people about picking a particular farm? What should they?
I think pick something and pick something you believe in. Don't pick an area that you don't like. That's people can tell that when you walk in. So if
Right.
you believe in an area, and I really think that you should live or be close to the area that you're picking. I think a lot of people come to Venice, they're living in the valley, oh, I'm a Venice agent. I'm like, you have to be ingrained in the culture and know exactly what's happening. It's street by street where I'm at. So I've always lived there, and I will always live there. So I'm a West Side person, really. And I'm okay with it. People are like, oh, don't you want the big one in Hollywood Hills? I'm like, I don't want to drive to the Hollywood Hills. No, not for what I do. So.
Are you taking maybe even earlier in your career? What would you do if you had a client that was a big number, or it was an important amount of potential commission, but they wanted a house way out of your area? Is that something you would?
So what I would do with them is I would say, listen, I'm going to get the best person there. If they wanted me to work with them and with that person, we would just basically take that person together and work with that person together. Because a lot of the things that my clients really appreciate me is they trust me. And trust is something you have to earn. You can't just get it in a minute.
Right.
If I don't know an area, I do have a network of agents that I work with that I trust, but then I will help guide them through my client through the process as well. So I'll work hand in hand with another agent too.
Got it. So get open houses, whether, when you're a new agent, you don't have listings, so you can work somebody else's open house.
Yes.
How do you make that happen?
I mean, I just worked with my mentors. I think that now it's more leaning towards teams, because I don't give my open houses to just any agent.
Of course.
I have enough buyers agents that work my open houses.
Right.
So that's how I do it. But I think it's different everywhere.
And you started as an individual agent.
Yeah.
Do you recommend people getting into the business? Should they start as an individual agent? Do you think there's an advantage to being on a team?
I think that the world is going towards teams.
Yes.
And when I was an individual agent, I quickly created a team around me. Every year I picked up a few people because no one's good at everything. As an agent, you have to play to your strengths.
Right.
If you told me to get on the computer and type 15 emails a day, I'd be like, I wouldn't.
Right.
That's a big waste of time for me, and I'm horrible at it.
Right.
So play to your strengths and know them, and then create a team that everyone is playing to their strengths.
Yes.
And so they're all excited to be there, and they're everyone's doing their best job.
Yes.
That's really important.
I had a great conversation with somebody who said the upside of your upside will always be far greater than the upside of your downside. So, right? I mean, it sounds obvious, but trying to fix what I can't do is a lot of wasted energy as compared to really diving into what I would be good at.
Right.
So from our conversation, I can guess the answer, but what do you think are your superpowers?
I think connection and just people. I love people. I really do.
And getting them into a deal or a transaction that they love or a house that they love.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's based on connection and transparency. They just people want help. They're coming to me for help.
Okay.
And I'm going to help them. But I'm going to do it in a way that's not pushy or like, you have to do this. And I'm also going to be really open and honest with them.
Technology is a helper or a disruptor. Nowadays, people are really searching for homes a lot before they even go to a realtor. Do you think that technology is going to replace the realtor? And what's going on in the market right now?
Right. I think that technology, which I think is great. I think that technology helps people find the home.
Yes.
Period. I completely agree with that. It's what you do after you found it. Because this is a huge investment, and I don't think that can ever get replaced because the emotional aspect of computer technology can't answer.
Correct.
So I do think that power teams and people doing it correctly are important. And I think that the technology helps with transparency, which I love. Like I lead with all the Zillow, Trulia, Redfin numbers. I'm like, this is what the consumer's looking. Let's put this out there. So, and I've done that. I started doing that with Zillow 10 years ago when they started with the Zillow Zestimates. Everybody was so scared of it. I was like, this is fantastic. Like,
right. So you're
let's
embracing
talk about
it. Yeah, you're embracing it. When I look at it, I see the two ends of the spectrum, like the travel agent, right, which was really supplanted almost entirely by technology. And then you look at like a cancer surgeon, right?
Right.
And so in the same way that people will always come to a realtor with, all of the papers of the houses, right? I would go to my doctor with the WebMD, stuff, and he'd be like, okay, put that down, right? We don't, and I know that a realtor is not a surgeon, but I also know that a home purchase is the largest, it's the largest transaction most people do in their entire life. And unless you're in a tract home area, which some people are, right? One house is really different from the other, from the other, from the other. So there's a lot that a realtor can bring in knowing the inventory, and the community was another thing.
And it's interesting because I don't know if you've seen this little surgeon's back of the travel agent.
Oh, yes, for sure.
So actually, there's two travel agents going on
sure.
Abbott Kinney right now. And high-end trips, guess what they want to use? A trap, because they don't want to mess it up. And I think that's the same. I actually
Absolutely.
First, not only think, I truly believe that's the same with an agent. They don't want to make a $2 million, $3 million, dollar purchase of their home and then have it be infested with mold, but they never got the right inspector.
Right.
Or like literally the foundation is gone and they didn't know, or the paperwork is and some things weren't disclosed. So I think there's always going to be a definite need.
Always, right? I mean, I bought a second house in Palm Springs, and the next thing I know, like the wind the wind was insane. They're like, oh yeah, you're on the windy side of town. I'm like, I am, right? What does that mean? Right? I knew I was near the airport, so I'm like, okay, how's the flight path? But then like I'm in the windy side of town. I'm like, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
And so a great realtor would be like, okay,
you're on the windy
you're
side.
on the windy side, and then you decide, well, okay, that's that's I'm okay with that or not. You don't want that surprise after you bought the house, which I had, and I obviously have a lot of great real estate resources.
Right. Exactly. That's a great example.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked a little bit about technology. What technology are you using right now?
We use Slack, Follow Up Boss, Daylight, which is our CRM. I mean, obviously, all just the regular ones, but we don't. I would like to get a more comprehensive technology
Solution.
Strategy, and there's really not, from what we've seen, that's completely from A to Z.
Okay.
So.
And what pain point is the technology solving? So, for example, Slack is a great communication tool.
Inner office,
it's inner office, right?
And
So
inner clients. Some of our clients are in it too. Which is great. Yeah.
Okay. And then you would create a Slack channel for your client, and you'd communicate with them on that.
Right.
Okay.
And Daylight works really well, which is like a Salesforce kind of a thing as well.
Okay.
But it's not as integrated as I'd like it to be. And so there is a little bit of a pain point still for us on technology. And just really the lead management. I mean,
Okay.
that's our biggest. But
Okay, that's cool. What lead management would be better? So what's missing in the lead management side of it?
I think that what I'd like to see in lead management, like all of it really, is something that just more takes a client from like the first touch
Right.
to the very end. And we don't really have that without a lot of manual, I mean, putting everything in. So I think, and I also think that it's a lot of one-on-one with the client. So I think it just doesn't flow as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you also mentioned Follow-Up Boss.
Yeah, we're just starting with Follow-Up Boss. So as far as lead management, and we use it on our buy side right now, and I'm the beta tester for the listing side.
Okay.
So I'll let you know when we just started
When we
it.
hear more about that. Okay. So technology really is helping you. It's helping you along to the extent that it is.
Right.
Could be better, but it's not really make or break your business for sure.
No, not right now.
Okay.
I think that there's a lot. I think it could grow a lot. I think there's a lot of growth in the tech side of things in real estate.
Lots of growth opportunity, but
Yeah.
still not replacing the agent.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Exactly.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch to a little bit of a fire round type of question because, and I pulled these questions for a reason because you're so you've got this sort of like spiritual connection type of thing, and so just have at it.
Okay.
And we'll see what we'll see what happens. So what's your idea of perfect happiness?
Being imperfectly perfect.
Being imperfectly perfect.
I think that there's no perfect happiness. I think that the things that go wrong are kind of the fun times. It's like the ups and the downs are really important to me.
I love it. What's your greatest fear?
Heights. I hate heights. Oh.
What is the trait you most deplore in yourself?
I don't like that sometimes I fear the unknown, and I really fear the unknown.
What's the trait you most deplore in others?
Jealousy.
Which living person do you most admire?
My dad.
Nice. What's your greatest extravagance?
Oh, God. I don't really know what it is. I mean, this sounds really silly, but I have an Alaska MVP. So I get upgraded to first class, and it's not something I bought, but I got it, and I love getting upgraded. I love sitting first class, but I would never pay for it, so I actually like when they upgrade me.
I like it. What's your current state of mind?
Calm, excited at the same time.
Wow. What do you consider the most overrated virtue?
I think that I think it's like perfection, like people striving for perfection. I don't think that's real.
On what occasion do you lie?
Well, sometimes I say that I'm on my way to something, and I'm not really on my way yet. I'm like still in the house, and I say I'm in the car.
I love it. I love it. I do
Maybe I should say I'm on my way walking to the car.
Yeah, there's some version of on your way. I used to do that too because I run late and I'll be like, oh, I'll be there in 14 minutes when Waze says,
I just did that on the way here.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll be there in 10, but it really was 15.
Yeah.
I do that a lot. So,
And I'm
yeah.
trying to practice saying like exactly what it says on
Yeah.
Waze, but that's a practice.
It's tough. It's tough.
What's a quality you most like in other people?
Like kindness and honesty. Transparency, actually. Transparency.
Which words or phrases do you most overuse?
Awesome.
Awesome.
I don't know why. I keep cool and awesome. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I'm not out of the 80s, for God's sake, stop. So
I was thinking, well, see, there you go. I was thinking, well, maybe that's because we're West Side LA, but you're right. It's probably 80s.
It's 80s.
Okay.
When were you born? We're probably born
exactly, right? When and where were you happiest?
I'm really happy now. Like in my own self. And I
Nice.
wouldn't even say it's a place. It's just me.
Nice. Which talent would you most like to have?
Singing. I'd love to be a great singer.
Can you sing at all?
Not at all.
I can't sing at all, and I would love to be able to sing.
When I went to Japan and I sang by myself in a karaoke booth just to do it.
Oh,
just to be a rock star by myself.
Wow. Okay, I'll have to try that. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
God, I would really love to sing. I'd like to be a rock star. I always wanted to be like a rock star.
That's cool. You're a rock star realtor for sure.
Oh my God, that's right.
Right?
Yes.
No, it's true.
Yeah, maybe this
But
is
it
my
is true.
dream coming true.
Yeah, it is true. What do you consider your greatest achievement?
My kids. My kids.
If you were to die and come back as a person or a thing, what would it be?
Honestly, I'd come back as myself. I really am happy with myself.
Wow.
How I am.
I love it. What's your most treasured possession?
Honestly, I hate to say it, it's like my family and myself. There's no, I'm not a big material possession person. So,
Really nice.
yeah.
You've achieved a lot of success, which along with the success comes money, and you seem like you're not money driven. What drives you?
I really love connection, and the thing I do love about money is it gets me freedom, and which gives me like freedom to do things I want to do.
Right.
And it's more about experiences than anything else.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, my feeling in the world is that time is your most valuable asset, and it's not money. But money can allow you more time to do things you love to do.
Yes. It can't buy you back time that you've already spent, but it can certainly give you time into the today
Right.
and the future.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool. I like it. One of the things that and I can't tell you how amazing this has been, this experience. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. I've learned some great things today. I know that our listeners will also there's a lot of takeaways. You don't sit down with somebody that sells, $500 million worth of real estate a year very often. I appreciate that time.
Thank you.
And one of the things we talked about, everyone gives a gift to the listeners, and one of the things we talked about today was your gal, right, approach to things. And so I think it's very fitting and appropriate, and really appreciate you giving us a video that really explains that.
Right.
In action.
Yeah, and
which
see
is
what they can do. Try it.
Yes.
Try to gal people. See
Yeah.
if you could upgrade a free room.
And then send us the let us know how that works for sure.
My kids do it, and they got like ice cream, and they think they just get a kick out of it.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it, and I know we got great stuff. So
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Rockstar Nation, thank you for listening to Real Estate Rockstars. Listen, I need a favor. If you find this free content helpful, if you find our downloadable items from each guest helpful, please, I need you to pull out your pointing finger. Yes, the one finger that points at people, and hit subscribe. Yes, subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the better we look in the ratings and the easier it is to get guests like Robert Kiyosaki, Barbara Corcoran, all the players that are on $1 million listing in the different cities. All that stuff makes it easier the more subscribers we get. So please subscribe. And listen, there's a lot of places you can leave comments. There's a lot of places you can like. We're on Facebook. We have an Instagram page. Instagram page is I am Pat Hyben. The Facebook is Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Feel free to leave us comments there. The most popular form of commenting seems to happen on YouTube. Yes, for whatever reason, it's a very open environment. So just go to YouTube and go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Leave us comments there. Some of them we will read on the show. We love your feedback. So thanks, guys, and I hope you are having a great day. Oh, and also, listen, if you're going to subscribe and you haven't already left a review on iTunes, please do that too. Have a great day, and thanks so much, Rockstar Nation. I really appreciate you.